Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the Brotel. I have a special video for you guys because it's Golden Week and everyone is getting these top tier heroes with double SP going on in the game. So I thought I would go ahead and make an inheritance video for all 4 heroes instead of doing a should you pull video because we all know the answer to that. I'm going to start with Ryoma, then Hector, Azura, and lastly Takumi. You can find the timestamps in the description if you just want to go to a certain hero. And let's begin. Ryoma is considered one of the best sword units in the game. The big thing to highlight is his weapon, Raijinto, which has a built-in distance counter effect, a very powerful effect as it gives him great coverage versus ranged units. Overall stats are excellent. He has very similar stats to Red Lucina and we all know how good she is. The only issues I see are his resistance and some of his skills. Resistance is on the low side at 21. His special Astra is terrible. Night Sky is kind of bad too, but it's a lot better than Astra. Defiant Attack isn't the best ace skill for Ryoma. It's definitely viable for him, but you probably want to swap it for something else. Here's the budget build for Ryoma. The best IVs are going to be plus speed and minus HP. The 2 skills that we include for this build are Fury and Vantage. Fury will give Ryoma some extra offensive stats while also padding his defenses. The 6 self damage isn't even that bad as it can help Ryoma get into Vantage range. You can use anything for the assists. Rally, reposition, pivot, and swap are all good options. For the special, use Night Sky instead of Astra. It does less damage, but the important thing is that it's 1 less charge. Ryoma doesn't really need the extra damage from Astra because it's just overkill anyways. Draconic Aura, Luna, and Moonbow are the other specials to choose from. You can decide for yourself between either using one of the 2 3-charge specials or Moonbow. It really just comes down to preference. Would you rather attack someone twice and most likely kill them and save the charge for a different enemy? Or do you want to guarantee a kill with a Moonbow proc on the second hit? Hone Speed is a great C passive, so keeping that is fine. Threat and Speed and Threat and Defense are good alternatives. Even though this is a budget build with a tweak in the special, it might even be one of his best builds. The offensive matchup results are 77 wins, 4 losses, and defensively 72 wins and 8 losses. The build is going to cost 2 4-stars at minimum and 1050 total SP. Plus speed and minus resistance are the best IVs. Life and Death will benefit Ryoma's offense a lot, and you can see by the 98 wins and 6 losses. It doesn't do too bad either on defense with 89 wins and 14 losses. At full HP and in Vantage range, he is able to 1-round KO every green mage and some notable heroes like Takumi and Kagero. Swordbreaker can be an option for the B slot, but it'll only help Ryoma versus a few sword heroes that are barely ever seen. Again, Moonbow will be the best special. The assist and C slot are still flexible and have the same options as the previous build. With this build, Ryoma is going to win more matchups, but he's also going to lose more matchups. 2 4-stars and 2 5-stars, total SP is 1500. Second hero in this banner is Hector. This guy was considered the best axe unit pre-inheritance and still is post-inheritance. Hector comes with excellent skills all around. He's got the arm mass that guarantees a follow-up attack when attacked at and above 80%. It combos very nicely with distance counter, but remember you can't use it with Warrior Fighter, so that's a shame. But he does have gold armor, and gold armor is a powerful spur buff for armor types. Armor Emblem's team aren't exactly the best at the moment, but it's getting there with the addition of Zephiel. Stats are amazing. He's probably top 5 for highest HP, attack, and defense. Hector's main weakness is his low speed, terrible resistance, and mobility. Very vulnerable to mages. All of that isn't surprising since he is an armor type. Like I said before, Hector has a strong skill set already, so his budget build is not far from being his best build, which is why I'm just going to talk about both of them here. Best IVs for Hector are positive attack and negative resistance. Obviously, we keep Armaz and distance counter. Those 2 skills just does wonders together. Hector's main problem is mobility, so you can fix that by giving him either pivot or swap in the assist slot. Reciprocal aid can be useful to restore Hector's HP back to full in order to get a second round of Armad's effect in. You can keep Pavis, however you want to pronounce it, on him as a special for the budget build. If you are wondering if Aegis or Sacred Cowl is useful on Hector, well, the only ranged hero that 1-round KOs Hector are 3 red mages, Rag, Sanaki, and Tharja. If Hector is at full HP with Aegis ready to activate, he survives versus Rag and Sanaki, but still gets 1-round KO'd by Tharja. Tharja is by far more popular than the other 2, so I don't think Aegis is too useful unless you just want to reduce damage from the green and blue mages. If you want more damage, then use Bonfire for an extra 18 damage. Again, mobility is the problem, so we'll give him Wings of Mercy so he can fly around the map. Wings of Mercy is a really good skill to use for arena defense because it can catch players off guard sometimes. The other choice is Vantage. He can't really one-shot anyone besides 27 heroes, and 16 of those are blue. Some notable heroes that he one-shots include Lindy, Reinhardt, Spring Lucina, Julia, Nino, Soren, and Kaguro. I recommend only using Vantage on positive attack Hector, otherwise just use Wings of Mercy. Budget choice for C passive is Spur Attack 2 or Goat Armor. It really depends on your team. You can upgrade Spur Attack 2 to 3 for just 300 SP. Also, Threat Attack is a perfect skill on tanks like Hector who can survive and can debuff the enemies for multiple turns. The budget version that I would go is something like this. At minimum 1 3-star and 1 4-star. Total SP is 855 or 750 if you want to use Vantage instead. Then, the expensive build with Wings of Mercy is not too bad. 3 4-stars and 1 3-star. 1605 total SP. Here's the one with Vantage and Threat Attack, 1725 total SP. Next on the list is Azura. She has sing or dance, whatever you want to call it, which in my opinion is one of the best skills in the game. It just makes battles so much easier, which is why Olivia is always used in Grand Hero battle teams. For a support hero, she can definitely hold her own in fights because of her decent offensive stats. Hopefully you have an Azura with positive speed because that 36 speed is important and helps her a lot on both ends. 31 attack combined with Sapphire Lance Plus makes her a huge threat to red enemies, which is why she's the best of the 3 dancers because she doesn't really need to rely on allies as much. Her resistance is fairly high at 28 and that allows her to bait red mages real good. HP and defense are quite low, so watch out for some of the melee units out there, especially the axe types. This is going to be a support / offense build. Most optimal IVs are positive speed and negative resistance. I included Moonbow and Wings of Mercy. Moonbow is important for the Lance matchups. She doesn't really need it against reds because she has Sapphire Lance Plus. It can come in clutch in situations where an ally needs 1 extra turn to finish an enemy off, or maybe you need Azura to fly in to take out a red guy that threatens a vulnerable ally. She's only going to 1 round KO 29 of the 39 red types with Wings of Mercy equipped. If you want to cover everyone in that category, you can inherit Swordbreaker. It'll allow her to 1 round KO Lucina, Lyn, Ryoma, and even Zephiel. In the A slot, you can opt for Fury instead of Speed plus 3 for the extra stats. Fury gives her 4 more wins and 3 less losses on offense. And defensively, 2 more wins and 3 less losses. A more offensive approach is Darting Blow. It helps her a lot when initiating fights as it increases her wins from 55 to 69. She still survives against the same amount of matchups defensively, but she will lose the ability to 1 round KO 6 enemies on the counterattack. She's most likely just going to support, so plus speed 3 is good enough. C slot is flexible. Change it to any other buff that will complement your team. 2 4-stars and total SP is quite high because of Wings of Mercy, 1080 SP. Now if you want Azura to become an assassin, swap her weapon out for Silver Lance Plus for that 15 might, life and death, desperation, and Moonbow. Offensive results are 88 wins, 15 losses, and 21 draws. 14 of those 15 losses are greens and the last loss is from Effie. So as long as Azura doesn't fight against the opposite weapon triangle or Effie, then it's all good. But what about desperation range? Well, desperation range is 27 HP for her and the results are 81 wins, 35 losses, and 8 draws. You will get the same results from her no matter how low her HP is as long as it is at or under 27 HP. And this includes being at 1 HP. Even though her defensive stats are totally butchered, it has basically the same defensive results as the first build except that she can 1 round KO about 27 more heroes on the counterattack. This build is going to be expensive, 2 4-stars and 2 5-stars. Total SP is 2250. At least Azura isn't as hard to train up compared to someone like Olivia, so this is totally doable. The last hero is Pineapple Man, Takumi. His offensive stats are solid, but not over the top. George actually has very similar stats to him, but because Takumi has the same attack and 1 more speed than George, Takumi wins the stat battle. His defense is somewhere in the middle among the archers, so it's somewhat decent, but the resistance is really bad. He has the 3rd worst resistance for bow types, and that just makes him weak to dragons and mages, especially Raventone mages. The best thing about him is his skill set. He has a legendary weapon called Fujin Yumi. The effect isn't amazing, but we like it because of the 14 might. He also has the ever so popular threat and speed in the C slot and comes with Close Counter, which only he carries by default. Close Counter is a really cool ability and it really opens up a lot of cool builds for ranged units out there. Oh my, Takumi can utilize a lot of skills, but here's his budget build. Best IVs are going to be plus speed and minus resistance. Just add either Ardent Sacrifice, Reposition, or Drawback in the assist slot and Vantage in the B slot. With this build, Takumi can't really 1 round KO a lot of enemies. Only 32 wins and 2 losses on offense, and 34 wins, 4 losses on defense. For most of these matchups, he'll need one more extra shot to take them out, so what he has to do is get into vantage range, which isn't hard. He only gets 1 round KO'd by 4 guys. He can also just use Ardent Sacrifice once to drop from 40 to 30 HP to get into exact range. Anyways, basically what Takumi has to do is just initiate on the enemy first. He'll attack once or 2 times and do his thing. Then on defense, he'll just finish them off with close combat and vantage. Pretty simple, right? I mean, a lot of enemies just survive around 15 and lower HP, and that one last hit will do the job. If you can squeeze in Moonbow for the special slot, then it'll be even better. Without Moonbow, total cost is going to be 750 SP. With Moonbow, just add on 450 SP and it'll cost you about 1200. I guess you can call this one a budget set too, but not really. It has a similar strategy to the other one, but this is for a plus attack and minus resistance Takumi. Offensively, it's the same as the first one, but a couple wins higher just because of the attack IV, but he's going to really shine defensively. 87 wins, 7 losses, and 30 draws. The results are pretty damn good for just counterattacking, but in a more realistic scenario, Takumi is going to get a couple hits off during the player phase before the quick riposte stuff starts happening, and he'll get more kills doing it that way. Reciprocal aid can be used to restore his HP back to full and use quick riposte again. Moonbow is going to activate every time he uses quick riposte, so it will be important against some tankier foes. We got the 3, 4, 5 going on here. Total SP is 1305. So for this last build, if you've seen my clan video, this might look very similar, or familiar I mean. It's almost the exact same build. The one shown here is plus attack and minus resistance IVs, but you can use a plus speed Takumi. So he can 1 round KO 98 heroes normally, 111 heroes with threat and speed, and 120 with threat and speed and a rally attack boost or a spur attack boost. The strategy is either you 2-shot the enemy or you let one of your allies with spur attack purposely get damage below 50% HP, then Takumi could swoop right in behind him or her and get that spur attack boost and 2-shot the enemy. Moonbow versus Luna. Moonbow has 122 wins and Luna has 123. I would just stick with Moonbow. It's going to proc more often. C slot is flexible as always. Spur buffs can work great with drawback and Wings of Mercy, but threat and speed is already on his default kit and does a really good job, so there's really no reason to change. So the cost for this set that no one is ever going to build is 2580 SP. Very far-fetched. I would just do this on Klein since he already has that Brave Bow Plus. Alright guys, hopefully this video was helpful to those who have pulled these new units from the Hero Fest banner, which is probably most of you guys. Let me know your thoughts about these builds in the comments below. If you have any questions about anything, you can also comment those as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.